G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 7 of my Gunslinger Warlord playthrough with Asterkarn. Now, we are level 36, we've just finished up the left-hand side of Homestead, and we can quite happily now start heading up into the Blood Grove and towards Darkvale Gate. However, I did a little bit of testing in between episodes, and I've discovered that I can get the level 40 pistols now. And so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I swapped out the Anchorite's Headguard because I kind of want the more damage from that Earthquake proc. And for what I'm about to do, I don't need Chaos Resistance. The other thing I'd like to point out is if you have 50%, you're kind of done. You can get most of this from items that you can just go and buy. So for example, I've got 12% here from the Harvest Footpads, and I've got 31 from just a pair of Ascended Shoulder Plates. So Psyche is all that spirit, and I don't think Renegades is actually giving me any Chaos Resistance. Let's just have a quick look here. I'll just bring it up on Grim Tools. And the Renegade prefix, which apparently I have to change to a pair of shoulders that can actually get a an affix on them before it'll let me look at it. All right, chosen epaulets, sure, why not? Prefix. Okay, yeah, Renegades has Pierce and Aether resistance, so we are very much not getting any from that. So this is just from any pair of Ascended Shoulder Plates. You could also go and get a Fire Helmet that definitely has some Chaos resistance on it. So those monster infrequents can be found in Cronley's Hideout. You can get to 50% pretty easily, and you could cap this without trying too much. We could change the components here out for, I think it's silver, but there's a weapon component that will give you 20% Chaos resistance, and you can have 2 of them since you're dual wielding. So this could be 90 and then 120%. Obviously more than 80 is not really worth it. But what it does mean is that I don't really think I actually need this headguard. And because of that, I'm going to stick with the faction item that I know everybody can get. I'm actually going to melt that helmet down. Now, this is not to say that this is a bad helmet, and this is the perfect time to have this helmet. It's only a few levels lower than I am. It's got a huge resistance that is going to be very relevant going into the area that I'm about to enter, and it's got okay armor and some good health. But you don't need it. Similar sort of thing when I had the Gunslinger's jacket. It was a good boost in damage, but it was kind of low on armor, didn't have any resistances. It would have allowed me to change the relic, but honestly, I'm going to use this relic anyway, so not particularly amazing, even though technically it's got good damage. So you can change items like that if you want to. All right, so as I mentioned, I've worked out that at level 36, I can go back down here. I can kill the hero Vipers, and they will actually drop me the guns I'm looking for at level 40. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to dodge the big angry Tyrannosaurus, and I'm going to go down this way. I'll check up here, just see if there's any, not heroes, bosses. No, they are heroes. And I'm going to check down here, and this is where I'm stopping. All right, if they're not in that top section, it means they are somewhere else, and those somewhere else's are actually really annoying to check, so I'm just not going to. I'm going to exit, I'm going to come back in, and then I'm going to run south. Now, I could just not and use these two. Superior of Alacrity is pretty good, but I kind of want to get another couple. And also, I do want to show, I guess, some of the spawn locations for these heroes. It could be here. Obviously, it could be here as well. I'm going to skip that for the moment. Yes, it hurts me as well. Could be just here. There's a few more spots up there as well, and I think they can spawn out here in the sands. But they're being a little bit shy. Let's maybe push on. There is one more spot down here that's kind of close-ish. Generally speaking, I wouldn't do this run though. There's most of the spawn locations are going to be up here. In fact, I'm not entirely sure why I'm running down here. All right, I'll check this next little room here, and this will be it. Nope, was not rewarded for that long run at all. And that's kind of why I stopped where I did the first time. This is what I get for second guessing the plan. There's a reason I said to myself not to do that. Alright, so checking through the sands this time. Not actually expecting to find any out here, but, you know, we'll have a look. There's a lot of not Viper Sandspitters in that area. Here we go. Serpentior, the Regenerator. We'll take him out. Didn't drop a gun. That's, you know, not ideal, but it's fine. I seem to be getting about 50% drop rate on the guns from the hero dudes. We've got a Vitality / Bleeding, one of those. No gun again. So next 2 I kill should 100% drop the guns, right? Right? That's how that works. Also, where's the big angry dude? Where did he go? I haven't seen the Corvin Titanivore. I've been all through here. He only has... Oh, need to kill him fast. He only has 1 spawning location, so where is he? Okay, no gun from old mate there, and Zartox. No gun. Alright, lovely. We're doing a great job of showing off that that they do in fact drop guns. I'll do one more run, and then I might just leave it as homework to do in between episodes, perhaps. It does seem like going around here is the better way to go. That's a hero. I should kill that. Garprinx the Moon Eater. Definitely need to kill that. Just for the reputation, if nothing else. Homestead loves it, and I think the witch cults... Nope, seems they don't care. That's fine. It's all XP. Alright, we got 2 heroes. Always kill this guy first. He will strip all your buffs off. Not that I exactly have heaps of them, but he will. Neither one of them, again, dropping me a gun. This is becoming a problem. I see old mate going for a bit of a jog there. I'm not entirely sure where he went or why. Anyway, he's gone. He's like, no, I've seen this one before. I'm out of here. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm getting my other heroes through here, so old mate here with the yellow name can drop me guns, and he hasn't. Okay, one more run. I'm determined to get at least 1 gun here. I am going to call this at this point, though. I do have a pair of level 40 guns. It's the rightmost one you want to be looking at here, level 40. Superior of Alacrity is great. Superior of Sanctification is... Yep. I would much rather have the attack speed, but you get what you get, I guess. Alright, no yellow names. You've got a yellow name, so you get to die. So do you. Here we go. Zartox. Which is definitely one of the names of all time. Alright, still no guns. It literally dropped 2 of them for me in 1 run just before I got here, so I know it drops. I know it does. You can't fool me, game. Alright, I don't really want to fight him, so you guys get to live. Almost certainly could kill him, I just don't really want to stand there and hold right-click for long enough to actually make it happen. That's another one with no gun. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. I think the game is just trolling me. Anyway, I know they do drop at 36, and I am going to stop here. So let's head back to Homestead and get started on that right side. I'm not level 40, so I can't actually equip these yet. So there's plenty of time to go and get better ones. Also, the Oathbreaker is a pistol. So if you were doing a fire pistol build, it might be an okay gun to have. And I don't actually need it. Alright, so like I said, you want about 50% chaos resistance before you walk out this door. Good ways to get it are the Ascended Shoulder Plates. You can also use the Fire Helmet. I think, in fact, I'm 90% sure the Aether Helmet from Crunley's dudes is Aether Resistance, not Chaos. But the Fire Shoulders also would be usable. Harvest Footpads here, that Chaos Resist, I'm pretty sure goes up to 14 and as low as like 8 or something. So any pair of these you can get with 12 or higher on all of the resistances, you're good to go. And also, we're about to get access to a medal on the other side of the Blood Grove that will give us 30% chaos resistance by default sort of thing. So that'll be useful when we get there. You do have to go through a bunch of chaos damage to get there, including a very scary boss who I will cover when I kind of get a little bit closer. Alright, so we are killing all of the cultists here. So anything that's vaguely human-shaped, we kill because of these. So these here, you're going to need, I think it's 7. It's at least 4. So we want to kill all the cultists. And don't be surprised if you get up to the Darkvale gate, so the castle on top of the hill. Don't be surprised if you're walking in there with 0 of them, because they are somewhat rare. I say as I get 2 of them straight off the rip. Okay, that's fine. This totem is one of my favorites to farm. It's right by a rift gate up here. And it's in the Blood Grove, which is my probably second favorite, but also probably the most efficient place to farm when you get to level 100. So I like this totem, and it's made out of loot and XP, so I am actually going to kill it anyway. Let's take out that Void Leech first. And there we go. What did we win? Deathbringer Arraignment, which is Vitality and Aether, so no. Codex of Reckoning, which is a book, and Gunslingers can't read, so that's fine. But hey, XP, right? Nearly 37. Alright, these guys are vaguely human looking, so I'm going to murder them. You can definitely walk past them. The guys with white names, I'm pretty sure either don't drop the Chthonian seals, or they have a very low chance to drop. You want to be targeting the guys with yellow names, like the human, not just humanoid, like this Hellion is not going to drop one for me. Neither is, what is his name, Inugaru. He's not dropping anything either. Okay, he's going to drop a Death Ward, but he's not dropping the rare rare crafting components that I'm looking for. Death Ward, do I want it? Amulet with +1 to Necro skills. No, I don't. That Defy Death is a circuit breaker on an item, which is pretty good. When you get below a quarter, this will trigger and heal you for 1,000 plus 30%. So 2.5k, something like that. +1 to Necro skills, not particularly amazing though. Okay, let's reduce the reflected damage again. So we're up to 21% reduced. That's kind of okay. And which one did I side with? Did I side with Kaiman's Idiots? Master Varuk, okay. I chose the Death Vigil because they are objectively the superior choice. Actually, that's entirely not true. It doesn't really matter for this build. Let's head on in. So you do actually have to pick up this quest in order for the bones to spawn. So what must I do? Recover the remains. If you don't have the quest, unfortunately you can't run ahead, complete it, and come back and say, oh, I've already found those. They actually don't spawn unless you already have the quest, which is a little strange, actually, considering most quests in the game, you can just go to where the thing is and do the thing, and then come back and say, I already did it. But anyway, here we are. So, killing Kaiman's Idiots, we can, in fact, get a drop for a medal. Kaiman's Medal. Which we'll be using for a little bit, just for the chaos resistance. Again, though, don't expect to get one. It's going to be semi-rare to drop from them. It absolutely can happen. But we are going to just go and buy it from a shop. Assuming you don't get one by accident coming through here. Also, something to be careful of in this area is there is a boss here who is named Bolvar, and he has taken the title of Slayer of Noobs from Zarya, who previously held that office. And you'll see why when he walks on the screen, but basically, you need chaos resistance or you are going to die. It's not a maybe. You have chaos resistance or he will delete you when you walk on the screen. So 50% is good, 30% you can maybe get away with. I wouldn't want to risk it, but maybe. And anything less than that, you will just not exist. Especially if he spawns with good guns, because he is also a gunslinger. So let's see if I can find him. I am going to hit the quest up here. I've been walking past stars, I guess. The Black Legion insignia. We need 5 of those. If you can get 10, great. It will save you from searching for them in Ultimate. You can just turn them in straight in. But we actually only need 5, and I'm probably not going to keep looking after I've got my 5. Not sure if I mentioned it yet, but I do in fact really enjoy totems, because XP, because loot, they are just generally good to have. And this Chthonic Rift, I'm going to recommend avoiding for now. You can go in there and poke around if you want. There are actually some quests to go in there, I think. But I don't have those quests. I don't generally do it. It's a bit of a side quest kind of thing, takes a decent amount of time, and it's completely optional. So, personally, don't love it. But you may wish to do it. Do keep in mind, if you go into a Chthonian area like that, so if you go through a red portal, your options are escape to menu, death, or beating the whole thing, because you can't rift out of there. You're stuck until you either win, die, or escape to menu. Royal Jelly Extract is pretty good, some regen potions. It's energy regen for this one, the other two are health regen. And we are definitely not using that, although an Ice Spike on attack could be potentially good. 9 attack speed on my other gloves, though, does make it a little bit hard. Alright, let's continue heading north. I am kind of expecting Bolvar to jump out from pretty much every tree remaining here. I have a feeling he might be in this little area here. Let's see. Nope. That's not even one of his spawn locations, is it? Alright, but I am going to run into him at some point, and if I don't, I will actually go back and find him, just so as people can see it. Is he here? He's not here. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to keep going until I get to the next Rift Gate, then I'll come back and find him, if I haven't already by then. Black Legion Insignia. This Devotion Shrine is one of the uses for the Chthonian Seals. And don't stress about Bolvar, you will know when he shows up. You will absolutely know. Also, this quest here for the farmers, this is one of the homestead quests which we've got to do. Go and get that in a second. Okay, jump in the rift, let's take you back home. Give me the insignia. And Bolvar is probably over here actually. Let's see if he's right in front of that devotion shrine. That's pretty much where I'm expecting him to be at this point. He's usually kind of over here-ish, so let's go say hi. Yep, here he is. Alright, so I'm going to kill his friends, and I'll stand back a little bit. So you can see that's a decent chunk of my health bar. And that was with Ascension on, so let's see if I can kill him before he kills me. I do have my finger hovering over the healing button. And you nearly saw me die. So as you can see, he's got a pair of guns. He's also got a +1 to Oathkeeper amulet, which we're going to use. So because our main attack is in Oathkeeper, and we have other stuff, that's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 skill points at the moment. And as we get higher up, it's just going to get more. On Soldier, we've got 4 skill points from this amulet. So Bolvar's amulet, I'm going to go ahead and swap in. And this is something that I am going to farm a little bit. Ideally, I want Of the Grove as a suffix because I like it. You can go ahead and farm for whatever you want. Generally speaking, I say if you don't want to farm for the Of the Grove, then you probably just kind of want to get just good resistances. Maybe a prefix with resistances and a suffix with, I don't know, something on it. Alright, give me my add-on back. Do I need this? Yes, I need it for the bleeding resist. Okay, we'll go with that. We're going to go with Cunning there. And I don't have any skill points here. Since I'm in the area, I may as well vendor all this stuff that I'm not going to use. Just double checking this. Sky Fragment, I mean, all of that is converted to physical, except for the bits that are converted to Aether. I think I'll leave that for now. Also does kind of seem like I was getting some chaos resistance from that amulet, which I didn't notice. So 40% now. I am regretting a little bit not keeping that helmet, but if I was super worried about it, I would just go and farm myself a fire hat from Cronley's dudes. Alright, so Chaos Pistols, unfortunately no good for us, but this is the reason why he is so dangerous now. Because he is a humanoid enemy, he gets to use the items that he has. So he was shooting me with these. Demonic Frostbite, not particularly scary. Void Touch to Void Fire, though, that is pretty scary at this point in the game. So the pistols themselves come with 26 to 40 chaos damage. And then this one is adding another 7 to 18, and then multiplying all of that by 1.93 because of the chaos damage percentage there. So he's doing a little bit more than triple the base damage that he would normally be doing. Which is, you know, a little bit scary. Considering the other one also had 100%-ish chaos damage and some added flat. You can see why this can quickly get out of hand. Anyhow, he's dead. And my reward is a devotion point. The Savage Relic, obviously not going to do it, but that's a pet thing. Also 2 pet items because, I mean, you're dual-wielding guns. Obviously you're playing pets, right? Alright, devotion point. We are done with... Where are we up to, actually? Done with the Jackal. Done with the Hydra. Assassin's Mark. Okay. I know I probably whinged about this in the previous episode, but this is the worst devotion point available in the entire game. Skip it. Leave it till last. Until you need the completion bonus, which we're going for the Tortoise next, so yeah, we don't need that. So we're going to leave that for a little bit, or at least we should. I'll probably take it just so as I don't get to the end of the Tortoise, go to get the crab and go like, why can't I take this? What am I missing? Well, it's because of this. So I probably will take it, but it's so bad. Alright, let's keep heading north. We are done here. I'll probably make a little farming video, I guess, in the next maybe hour or so after this. And I'll show the farming of Bolvar, but definitely don't recommend doing it just yet because chaos resistance. And he's kind of scary. I mean, I nearly died. You saw the screen change color, the heartbeat noises. I definitely nearly died fighting him there. And I had 50-something% at the time, so... Definitely want a bit more, which is what we're doing here. Okay, I'm going to walk away from Kaiman's idiots, and we'll just keep heading over this way. Now, I have got 5 of 5 for the insignias, the Black Legion insignias, so I don't need to go back for those. I pretty much don't need to go back into the Blood Grove at all. We're going to head out here to the Graver's Mill, and we're going to hook her right here. So there's your Blood Grove Rift, and this little spike here on the map is where we're going to go into a secret hidden area that nobody has ever seen before. And we're going to pick up from Benevald here one of these. So Kaiman's badge. Now, these two happen to have really bad affixes, so I'm not going to buy these. Also, keep an eye on your iron bits. So one rare, I think, on these is going to be about 120 to 180,000 from memory. I could be completely wrong on those. These are both magic prefix and suffix, and it's already 30,000. If you find a double rare, this can be upwards of 200,000 iron bits, which I don't have, so I'm going to be quite upset if I go back to Homestead here for a second, count to 10 to reset his inventory, and then go back, and I'm going to be quite upset if there's a really good triple rare item there. No resist potions here, unfortunately. About rare jewelry. No. Any good belts? What do we got here? Cutthroats of Blood? No. I think I'll probably end up keeping that +1 soldier belt until I get the +1 Oathkeeper belt. But realistically, checking those merchants was just a stall for time. Alright, back to Benevald. What do you got for me? And he has got Mage Storm of Mending. That gets me 11% Vitality Resistance. A little bit of damage types that I don't care, and maybe some offensive ability. Also be aware that this guy does sell blueprints. The Skeleton Key, this one is free if you do a quest that I have just not turned in. This Old Scars, If you do this quest, go inside, make your way down to the Skeleton Key Dungeon. They will give you this as a quest reward, so don't buy this, especially when it's a quarter of your wealth. And I should have been waffling about that while standing in Homestead. I guess my distraction this time, while I wait for the time to be up, is I'm going to go bank all this stuff. Also, I only need 5 of these for the quest, so I'm just going to... Actually, I need to hang on to those as well. So I'm going to keep 5 on me, I'm going to bank 2, and then when I get to Ultimate, I'll probably forget that I have them and go find 5 more. But if I do remember, I'll only need to find 3, which is good. Alright, what do we got? Subjugators of the Arcane Blaze. So we get some Aether Missiles, we get some Vitality Resistance. Subjugators is pet stuff, which, who cares? Offensive ability as well is kind of okay. What am I losing? I'm losing health. Okay, well, my health is decently above where I need it to be, so that's fine. We're just here for the Chaos Res. Do I need Vitality? Not really. If I could get some Bleeding or Piercing on those, I'd be much happier. Alright, I'm going to reset this one more time, and then I'm going to push forward, because no one wants to watch me do this. And if I don't get something good, I'm going to buy the cheapest one. And we're just going to roll with that. This I don't need anymore. This I don't need anymore. In fact, I could probably sell all of this as well. Bloodbriar's Thorn I'm definitely not using anymore. Let's see what you've got. Alright, Benevold, this is it. Your last chance to redeem yourself. Mighty of Attack. Okay, 10% Physique, bunch of offensive ability. That's probably fine. 38% Chaos. Do it. Let's roll. Okay, let me go get my Wardstone back, and I'm just going to call this good enough. Again, you can go ahead and farm this for as long as you like. There was a change a few patches back, which makes it incredibly unlikely that you get double rares from merchants now. That's not to say you can't. Do I want to keep... Oh, I'm already wearing it. Never mind. Yeah, that's not to say you can't get double rare items from merchants anymore. It's just incredibly rare now. Because Xantai was upset that people were spending time farming merchants instead of playing the game. Which I can kind of understand. But it is, you know, it is what it is, right? Okay, let's push forward. So, Captain Soma, that's fine. Insignias are done. So, Lumber is the next quest here. I've already got Malkadar's Remains. Actually, let's go do that. We'll go north instead. Why not? Back to Sora's Bastion. We'll turn that in, and they're going to send me into a mine full of Aether. So, luckily, I have 45% Aether resistance. Also, luckily, the Aether on the ground does not care about your Aether resistance, so 50% is fine. Master Farouk here. I have the remains. What is it? I will gather the seals. Okay, I skipped a quest. I'm one short. So actually turning that in didn't help. And I guess we're going southwest instead of northeast. We can kill a whole bunch of those guys later. I'm going to go around here and hit up all of the totems, if I can find them. Or if they exist there. This one is definitely not here, so you could have a totem right there in that little... Looks kind of like the end of a bone sticking out of the map there. I see this one over here. And I also see a bunch of cultists, which I like because they are made out of XP and the components I'm looking for. So let's take care of these guys. Also, because of my little amulet there, I am now 100% capped on Chaos Resistance, and I didn't even need that shiny blue helmet to do it. So, if you don't have the blue helmet, you can use the Devil's Head Guard, and you'll be just fine. I'm just waiting for Ascension to come up, and then I'm going to pop it, and we're going to blow these guys up. So there is some scary stuff that can come out of these totems. Generally speaking, you'll be fine. Like I was here. And when those guys that I killed last, when they pop, they shred your resistances, so do watch out for them. Okay, Death Whisper Ointment here. Vitality resistance. Unfortunately, these are incredibly expensive. You don't ever want to craft these. They need a chthonic seal of binding, which, I mean, I found 2 of them and I've been killing cultists for half an hour. And sanctified bones, which I'm pretty sure needs more of those. I could be wrong on the sanctified bone. In fact, let's just check. Where is my sanctified bone? Sanctified bone blueprint requires 1 chthonic seal of binding, 4 corpse dust, and 4 purified salt, which is 12 aether crystals. So very, very expensive to get you 3 resistance potions that'll last like half an hour. Pretty much never craft those, especially when you can just go see Mr. Redden and buy them in Homestead. Alright, so I am heading south here because I need to get to the mill. And also more cultists need to be shot. Okay, purging gaze, not really what I'm after. You know, if you guys would just give me another chthonic seal of binding, I might start walking past you instead of shooting you. Just putting that out there, you know, it's completely up to you. Okay, we've made it to the mill, and I've got to kill 18 Chthonians. Alright, this Harbinger guy, when he dies, that little explosion, spectral miasma, the chthonic curse saps all of your defenses. So you can see I'm now at 67. I hope you can see it. I'm at 67% chaos resistance. 69, very nice on my vitality. 78, 77 for pierce and poison. And let's just wait for that to wear off and watch those numbers all go back up. There you go. Back to cap. So be careful when you're killing them, because their deaths are painful because they do damage, but also because they shred your resistances, which is your protection against their friends. So you want to kill them last if you can, or you want to just build a character that's strong enough to not care about getting their resistance shredded, which is not really something that I worry too much about at this point. Alright, Shah Luthol, which is an interesting name. Squire's boots are kind of whatever. As well as the merchant up here, where is it? This little spiky bit here. We've got another spiky bit down here, where we can walk behind the waterfall, and we found another hidden area. This one's much easier to find because you do occasionally get a totem spawn in here. About 1 in 3 games you will have a totem in here. Now, I'm not going to have one because it would be here. But you do get some manticores as well, which I guess is good if they drop you an eye. I've got 2 manticore heroes. This is very unusual. I'll take it, but it is very unusual. No eyes, unfortunately. But, you know, got some toys. And I'm not sure if I mentioned these earlier, but we do have a guaranteed purple weapon down here. So anytime you see one of these statues, let me just spin the camera here. He's got a shield in his right hand, he's got a shield in his left hand, he's got a shield in his urn. Anytime you see a statue with 2 shields, you are going to get one of these. Now, this is a totally normal bulwark, +1 to occultist skills. This is actually a mace. It looks like a shield. It's a mace. There's, I think, 6 of those scattered around the world, hidden in urns at the feet of those shrines. So if you find those shrines, you'll find guaranteed purple weapons. Guaranteed purple weapons with +1 to a mastery, and +2 to 2 masteries if you're an ultimate. So they can be quite good. Obviously, they're not guns, though, so they're no good for us. Alright, still hunting cultists. Now, like I said earlier, if you get to Darkvale Gate and you don't have any of these chthonic seals, or you have 2 like I do, maybe you only have 1 after you've spent it in the shrine, don't stress. Darkvale Village and Darkvale Gate are both packed full of cultists. You'll probably get a couple there. So let's just keep heading north. Here we go, Village of Darkvale. First thing I see, 2 yellow named cultists. Followed by another one. So this place is absolutely crawling with the Chthonian cult. And we are going to probably get 1 or 2 just climbing up the hill to the top of the village. Not necessarily 100%, but probably. Kind of wish I'd lined that up a bit better, but I didn't know it was going to proc then, so that's fine. So now that I've mentioned that you're going to get a couple in the village, watch as exactly 0 drop. I think the drop chance on them is pretty low. There's 3. Okay, so I've got 3. I can go back and turn this in and then get the quest to go into the mines, but at this point I want to push forward and get the next rift gate first. So in the village, there's a couple things to get. There's a lot of lore notes, which is XP just laying on the floor. Also kind of, explores what's going on in the area. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and have a read. Okay, so reflecting reduced by 26. That's kind of gonna have to do for the moment. Do I want more in here? I definitely do want to max this out, so I'm going to do that. That is a decent amount of damage by putting more points in there. And then after that we can push forward a little bit. Alright, there's a dynamite here every single time, and there's a treasure trove right next to it 1 in 4 times. So in the village, we're looking for that free dynamite, we're looking for this free treasure trove, which may not be here. I'll show you where all the other locations are. Rampage, pretty good. Hard to dual wield without the Gunslinger's talisman. But if you happen to have that blue jacket that I vended, you could get away with it. Alright, I'm going to push through here. This red circle here could have a totem on it. It depends which one you've got. This shares a spawn location with 2 other totems, and so you're only going to get 1 of them each game. Your treasure trove may be in this house right here against the back wall. And if we head north, there's 2 more locations it could be. Obviously, I want Zarya's journal. I'm going to shoot up her house. Right here in this corner is another location where, do you mind? Where you could find your treasure trove. There is also some minor loot kind of stashed here under the bridge. Then across this bridge, we've got, actually there's a lore note up here, so may as well grab the bathhouse. I'm going to shoot you. There we go. And then this is the last place where you may find your treasure trove. I'm pretty sure it's on this side of the door. It might be on this side of the door, but it's one of these 2. And if you haven't found it at this point, then you missed it, and you probably want to go back and get it, because the loot can be quite good. Right, next thing to talk about is not this devotion shrine. Don't activate this shrine, because hiding just over here, you have Zarya the Carver. Now, Zarya used to be, in my opinion anyway, used to have the title of Destroyer of New Hardcore Players, because she will summon crystals, 2 of them, and if they fire at you and you have low chaos resistance, they will instantly delete you. So hopefully you've been following my recommendations and you've got 80% chaos. And we're just going to go stand right next to her. We're going to push the all the damage buttons, and hopefully we're going to kill her pretty quick. Now, she is definitely not dying quickly. So she is going to summon her crystals, and I'm going to shoot them, because I don't want to get chaos blasted in the face. Or in the anywhere else, for that matter. And she's going to go down pretty easily. As long as you shoot the crystals, you'll be fine. The crystals will hurt. If they fire at you, they will hurt, even with 80% resistances. They will hurt less, they won't one-shot you, but they will still hurt. You can look at that later. Okay, Desecrated Shrine. I often forget this because I tell everyone, no, don't click on this one. You've got to deal with Zarya first, and then I just go straight in and forget this. So, if you've done that, don't stress, you're in good company. Alright, let's take these guys out. +1 devotion point for me, thank you very much. Let's chuck that in here for some offensive ability. Next point will actually get us Assassin's Mark, at which point we'll be taking Falcon Swoop and putting it on something else. I'm not exactly sure. Probably one of these procs, which is not a great place for a damage proc, let's be honest. But we need Assassin's Mark on the main attack. All right, let's head in. There is a Rift Gate just over here. And now it's time to go back and complete some earlier quests. Actually, I think I have my Rift Gate right outside their door still. Beautiful. Alright, so let's head in. We'll turn this quest in. Seals are done. What's next? Yes, yes, yes. I will gather her essence. Absolutely, for sure. Before I do that, though, I want to empty my inventory. That purple shield mace, you only get one of those per character. So make sure you really don't want it before you sell it. I definitely really don't want that, so I'm happy to sell it. You might want to keep it, maybe just keep a set of them. It's up to you. They're not particularly difficult to get a hold of, but, you know, maybe you want it. Okay, so back to the Blood Grove, and we're going to head up this way. Got Ethereals. Now, I've only got 45% Aether resistance, which is not great. So actually, let's just have a quick check in Homestead. Because my mate, Isaiah Redden here, does sell resistance potions. He doesn't like me today, though. Let's just double check, see if I have any in my inventory, and while I'm here, I may as well talk to Old Love there. None in the bank. What about crafting? Can I craft them? Spirit Bane Ointment. Yes, I can. Okay, so we get 3 of these for a craft. This one uses a lot of Aether Crystals. 1 shard, and then 3... Should be 3, right, for a Wrathstone? Yeah, 3 crystals. There we go. So let's just neck that. That gives me 70%. I guess we can turn these quests in as well. Why not? 70% Aether Res is going to be more than enough. And if you don't have any or enough Aether Crystals to craft those, go ahead and do a quick run through the Warden's cellar. In fact, I'm going to do that now because I'm about to out-level the area. Once you get to level 40 or 41, these things will no longer drop Aether Crystals for you. So you probably want to have a couple extra just kind of floating around. You can run through here pretty quick. I'm not going to kill him. Well, actually, he might just die from the damage over time. He does come back to life, though, so he's not actually going to die. Quick run through here. Get you, should be something like 14 Aether Crystals. And you don't have to fight any of this stuff. It's all going to be level 30, so it'll die pretty quick. There we go. And now I've got a little bit of a stock up, which will be useful later. There are a few other places you can do that little farm. This mine actually is one of the more dangerous spots, but it will give us a decent little chunk of Aether Crystals as well. Flesh Warped Cask will be useful later. Not for now, though. Alright, so we're going in here. Now make sure you jump off of the Aether Goop on this little section here. Get your health back to full. And we can shoot these crystals from here. No, we can't. Definitely keep an eye on your health. If you've got stuff to shoot, you can sometimes leech a little bit. But, yeah, health gets chunked. Now, I did mention earlier that this goop on the ground does not care about your Aether resistance, and that is absolutely true. You can be at 80%, you can be at 0%. This does percentage health damage. So, the only thing that will reduce the damage here is damage absorption. So, you can use Ascension to kind of walk across it a little bit. It's still not going to completely annul it because the absorption I have isn't enough. So flat absorption from Ascension will reduce this damage. You can also get percentage reduction, which I don't have any of, but if I was playing a different soldier build, maybe I would have, was it Menhirs something, right? Yeah, Menhirs Bulwark here. This has got damage absorption percentage on it. That will also lower the damage you get from Aether Ground. But pretty much nothing else does. So if you're walking in here with 10% Aether resist, the ground is not going to kill you, but the ethereals still might. There's an Aether Cluster, which they're good to have. Aether Clusters also will help against the ground damage. So if you've got one of those spare, you can get through a very small section without taking too much damage. They've got extra health, that's fine. Alright, when you get to this section, we're about to fight potentially 2 bosses at once. Can you see them from here? Well, there's Novarius Stormfire, and there is Venarius the Backbreaker, and he's got 2 heroes with him as well. So I'm going to try and not fight all of that all at once. Thank you very much. I'm watching out for meteors, basically, from Novaria. She's not really doing much else, though, is she? It's not standing that, whatever it is. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering, and she doesn't do meteors. Perhaps it's Venarius. I'm pretty sure one of them was doing meteors. Anyway, that's fine. Let's head down. We can shoot things up a little bit more. One thing to note as well, if you don't want to tangle with Venarius and his 2 friends, you do get a free dynamite over this way, so you can maybe come up this way, grab the dynamite, and be on your way. Or you can do the super sneaky like I just did, completely on purpose, of course, and you can draw Venarius away. Hey, there's the meteors. Okay, cool. So I should be able to just hold right-click at this point. And nope. Nope, 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 nope. No Sunder, please. Alright, there we go. Easy, easy. There's the Oathbreaker, so I would have the entire set now if I hadn't sold the shield. Fire Pistol, Fire and Chaos, actually. There we go. Yeah, definitely not using that. Alright, they went down extremely quickly. I was not expecting them to die that easily. Anyway, we're done in here, so you can either walk out, or you can do what I'm going to do, and use the Rift Gate. Avoid walking in all the Aether goop whenever possible. And when I've been doing so when I did the Death Knight Hardcore Achievements Guide, I skipped that entire quest. Like, the whole thing, I just got up to that quest with these guys, and I just didn't do it. Or I did Kaiman's, I can't remember. It was one of them. But I just did not go into those mines because I know that they're going to kill me. Alright, so we are now at 16 of 16 here, which is the maximum we're going to get. Got 493, what was that? Yeah, so basically an extra 100 physical damage on every shot with the pistol, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, and we still don't have access to this stuff, but we will, we will. Right, next quest should be over here, right? This should be the Ashes, is it? Yeah, we'll grab the Ashes quest. Definitely going to go and do that. When we get to it, obviously. Alright, so nice little damage boost there. How are we doing for time? Yeah, we'll do Darkvale Gate. Why not? Got time. So, a bunch of these guys here. Like I said, if you're short on Chthonic Seals, this is an okay place to get them. It's not the best place to get them. That comes up later. But this is an okay place to kill Chthonians, kill cultists. I'm going over this way because there's some hidden loot that I want to get my hands on. There is the big guy who died and stripped all my resistances. Lovely fellow. So you want to shoot this stuff and then go in down here. And we've got some hidden loot. Unfortunately, it's, once again, not amazing hidden loot, but it's free. You just got to go pick it up. So we'll push forward here. You're going to have to go different ways because, again, this is blocked off maybe. Maybe this is blocked off. Just find your way up north. You'll be fine. There is a law note in this next room as well, which... free XP. Everybody loves free XP, right? Can't possibly just be me who likes it. Blood Forchathon. Alright, we're going to make our way through the castle. We want to get up to the second floor, and... you know how I was saying that Bolvar is the destroyer of noobs? Well, this guy is probably the hardest boss. Do I want to actually... do I want to say that? He's probably the most rippy boss in the game? Question mark? Anyway, maybe not the most, but he's definitely up there for sure. As far as questline bosses that you have to beat to continue the game, he's... oh dear, here we go again. He's up there. Alright, so the Perdition set, really good leveling set, especially if you happen to be playing a build that does Acid Retaliation, or just Retaliation in general. But the great thing about the Perdition set is it has insanely good armor. So even if you're not playing, you can see the 5 set there is +2 to all Oathkeeper skills. Even if you're not playing an Oathkeeper, 2 pieces of this set gets you 10% armor, plus each of the pieces can have 5%, so 20% increased armor. And then all of the pieces have good armor, and I think they all have 2 resistances, but they each have at least 1. And they all have acid retaliation and retaliation damage, so if you start getting hit, you can occasionally just kill stuff. Pretty good leveling set, even if you're not, as I said, an Oathkeeper doing acid retaliation damage. So 2 pieces of that is pretty good. I probably wouldn't go for more than 2 pieces, and obviously the set does have a shield, so if you're not playing a sword and shield build or a gun and shield build, you're not going to use those, or you're not going to use that. But any 2 pieces, as long as they don't remove a monster infrequent that you're using to really boost your character, they can be quite good. Alright, let's get the loot in the walls, because, obviously. There we go. A couple of rares. Pretty much what I expect from all of the hidden loot. Occasionally you'll get a blue, and very occasionally you'll get a purple item, but usually it's going to be just greens. Which is fine. I like iron bits. There's another seal of binding. So it turns out you actually only needed 4 of those to get through all the quests. So 3 for a quest, 1 for a devotion shrine. So 4 is fine. There may be a totem right here, or you may have the same one I have. So I'm going to obviously go and do the totem. This totem is one of the annoying ones that's right up against a wall. And so when I click on this, it's going to spawn some stuff, well, often will spawn some stuff on the wrong side of the wall. Which, depending on how you look at it, could be a good thing. For someone who's doing okay damage and has 80% chaos res, it's probably just going to be frustrating. Because I may have to go around the wall to find them. Alright, I was trying to avoid having my resistances shredded, but it looks like I'm going to have to deal with that from this guy as well. Managed to avoid them. There we go. Okay. Pop it like it's hot. Vampiric, Voidbringer. There's 2 others. I don't see any big blue circles with a line through them, so I'm not terribly worried about these guys. These guys, however, these guys are minor, you know, just slightly terrifying. Because they have these. Obsidian War Cleavers. This is Frenzied of Ruin. And he gets to hit me with that. He also does have... whoop, I'm standing in stupid. No, I'm not. I'm reflecting myself to death. He also has all of that extra physical damage. Now, this one's not super scary. But you can have these with 600 flat or several hundred flat physical damage and 6 or 700% increased. And this is, by the way, why you don't get distracted by the loot. So do as I say and not as I do. That would have been very embarrassing as a death. Right, I've already got one of those, don't I? Yeah. I think not. I don't think I'm going to use those. But yeah, these things can be really, really scary, especially in Ultimate. Chaos damage, not so much. I have to admit, if I had died there, I probably would have just laughed. Because the number of times I've mentioned, don't stand there in the goop and watch your health bar disappear while you're looking at loot. This probably would have been my 7th or 8th character that would have died that way as well. It's alright. It's okay. I made it. I did leave one of the wall loots, as it were, as well. It's right here. You know what? I'm going to go back and get it. I like the loot. Also, we can have a little bit of a gap before we get to Thalnosh and Karoz. Alright, here we go. Looting the walls. We did get a blue. It's not great, but it is added lightning damage, which we are converting mostly to physical, some to Aether. So that is actually a bunch of flat physical damage and some flat Aether damage. It's not lightning. So you could maybe make the argument to use that. These boots also are quite good. Blitz, Blindside, and Rebuke. So Blitz, Blindside, and Rebuke is that one. So less reflection. So yeah, maybe. I actually do like taking less reflected damage. Just think if I hadn't already maxed out Rebuke there, this character would be dead because I had my own damage reflected back at me. And it was going to kill me if I hadn't hit that potion. So by the time I noticed, it would have killed me if I didn't have that reflect resistance. Which tells me that that actually the devotion path that I was going to take, which involves the Dire Bear, yeah, we're not doing that. We're taking the reflect resistance path instead. So if I've given you the devotion path that I was going to take, cancel it. We're not doing that. We're going to be taking the Lotus instead. And it's not too bad at the moment, I guess. Things that are too bad at the moment is this is the boss door. So Karoz is just through here, and then we'll have to fight Thalnosh as well. What do I want to say about him? Let's just go shoot him. His first form's not particularly scary. You definitely want maxed out Vitality resistance. You definitely want maxed out Chaos resistance. And you want to be ready to run away, because I'm going to have to run away with this guy at some point. Not the first form. Karoz here is not scary at all. When you kill him, though, turns into this guy. So, he is going to put goop on the ground under your feet. Don't stand in it. Also, when you see the tentacles come out of the ground, it's time to leg it. There's the goop on the ground that you don't want to stand in. There's the tentacles. I'm just going to get out of those. Same with the crystals. He's going to summon crystals. There they are. Shoot them, or be prepared to get blasted. Same with Zarya. Okay, I'm not taking any damage this time. Let's pick all these up. He does drop pet rings. And also, make sure when you kill him, you just grab everything and leave. Go out the back door. Don't go back to town to change your gear. If he drops you something really shiny, just leave it in your inventory. Come out here, get the Rift Gate, and then we'll worry about the loot. Because the number of times I've been distracted by the shiny, and then forgot to come out here and get the Rift Gate, gone back to town, gone, oh, I need an augment from somewhere else. Used my Rift Gate, my personal Rift Gate, to get there, and then ended up going, oh, I guess I have to run through the entire dungeon again because I didn't grab this. So definitely grab this. And we can go back to Homestead and turn this quest in. I've also got a quest to turn in Devil's Crossing. At least I should have, once I go over here and talk to Douglas. Nope, maybe I don't have the reputation for it yet. Alright, here's the Spirit Bane ointment that I went ahead and crafted. Would have been nice to have that for sale. I'm going to keep those boots, pants, no, gloves. Okay, these are just a straight upgrade by the looks of it. I would lose 4% resistance. I don't think I care about that, so let's go ahead and sell that. The pet rings might be worth having a look at. The actual monster infrequent itself is obviously no good, but this does have a stanching prefix, which is a bunch of bleeding resistance. So I'm not going to use this one, but maybe you could get affixes that are good for your build on the pet ring. Definitely keeping that for the moment. Okay, that'll do me. Let's eat that. I've been where I need to be, so I can use my personal Riftgate. That's fine. Karoz is dead, and she's going to give you a random blue item. So I've got a ring, which is actually not horrible. That is a lot of health. The resistances on it are bad. And my health regeneration is... This is not a regen build, so I'm not going to use it, but it's not horrible. Alright, so we are going to head up to the Fort Icon. The Fort Icon, because I can't speak. Okay, we'll chuck that in there. I've got my guns ready to go. And next episode, because this one's pretty much over, next episode is going to be a farming episode. So if you're into that, stay tuned. And if you're not into that, you can skip the next one and it'll just be fine. So that is going to be the end of this episode. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I will see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.